Inside this video right here, I'm going to show you the difference between EMT and a paramedic. We're going to talk on the road. We're going to talk about schooling. You will know everything you want to know by the end of this video. Here we go. I want to help decrease failure rates for NREMT, for EMT school, for paramedic school. Watch these videos, watch this content, and believe me, you will start to understand EMS medicine. Anybody out there that wants to serve their community as an EMT or a paramedic should be able to do that, and I'm here as a paramedic coach to help you achieve that. Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Evan here, the paramedic coach, and if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and tap the notification bell. I make videos here every single week, multiple videos every single week about EMS from EMT, advanced EMT, paramedic, and finally, everyone watching this video, do me a solid, hit that like button so more of our EMS brothers and sisters can see this video. Now, let's talk here about the difference between EMT and a paramedic. In this video, I'm going to first lay out kind of the groundwork on EMT and the groundwork of a paramedic. Then I'm going to split this up and I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of both. So here we go. When I talk about, who should be an EMT or why you should become an EMT, if you are unsure, maybe you're unsure if you want to be a first responder, or you're unsure what you want to do in medicine, you don't know where you want to go. I know a lot of people that want to be, a police officer, a firefighter, and an EMT. I know a lot of people that they want to maybe go to PA school or nursing, or they want to be a doctor, or they're not sure, maybe a paramedic. They don't know what they want to do, right? Taking an EMT class is the first step. It checks the box on a lot of those things, all those things. So starting with an EMT class would be the first step. It's entry level, okay, for first responder and medicine, okay? Now, the class could be as fast as 8 weeks. I've seen them out there. I don't recommend that though. I recommend finding a class. It's about 3 months long, is usually average, or even 4 months, which is great too. But 3 months is average. Back in 2011 when I took an EMT class, it was 3 months long over the summer, for example, at a local hospital. So first, EMTs, as you know, as you probably first think about, is they work on an ambulance, 911. You're correct, they do. That is 100% correct. It could be for a county service, it could be for a city service, it could be a fire department, it could be a volunteer ambulance service, right? It could be a private ambulance service. There's a lot of different options. Now the other option is what they call an inter-facility transport, and some may call it a non-emergent transport, okay? So in that case, it could be just simply taking someone, to and from their home to dialysis. Now there are other areas where EMTs can work, but one of the major differences between the EMT and the paramedic is having your paramedic certification, which I'm going to talk about later on. By the way, if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you, paramedic is the highest level in the ambulance in the United States. We're going to talk about that in a second. There's way more options over with paramedic as different types of jobs. But there are some EMT spots for, let's say, summer camps. Some hospitals or even doctor's offices, could be a medical assistant, could be an ER tech. Those, in some areas, paramedics might be doing those. In other areas, EMTs. But you're going to have the leg up if you have your paramedic on some of those things as well. Now, what you got to know in the United States system, there's something called a national registry. So EMT is basically the first level in the ambulance. Then we have an advanced EMT, then we have a paramedic. Now, most areas don't have an advanced EMT. So in most areas, you have an EMT and a paramedic, okay? There is an advanced EMT. It's kind of in the middle of EMT and paramedic. For the most part, it's just EMT and paramedic. So that makes the paramedic, everywhere in the United States, the top level in the ambulance service, the highest level of care in the ambulance service under national standards. Now, most medics, you look here, the average medic could carry, depending on protocol, and every state, every county, every region has their own protocol. But when you go to paramedic school, there's national standards usually, okay? And those standards, if you look at them, most medics carry anywhere from 30, 40 plus drugs in the ambulance. So if we look at that, those meds could be oral meds, they could be IV medications, a lot of them are IV medications, intramuscular medications are some of the most common meds that medics carry. Now, the other thing about paramedics, we're going to talk about treatments when we do our comparison in a second, but paramedics practice advanced life support. And for example, I'm the paramedic coach, as you know, so I'm a paramedic. And as far as the skills and certifications we have to learn, for example, advanced cardiac life support, pediatric advanced life support. These are certifications that doctors, nurses in hospital, also are trained on, and then so are we. We're all in that class together there, okay? So you have to learn advanced life support. So now let's talk about the schooling with paramedics in the United States. Now, the schooling is different. Now you see here I have Cert versus Associate of Science, Bachelor of Science. Every college or community college or wherever, program that you take, wherever it may be. It doesn't have to be a college, by the way. It could be, there are some programs that are hospital-based in some areas. There's a lot that do colleges and community college. Some are EMS academies. Now the options that you have is basically the shorter term. So if we're looking at, let's say, a 12-month program or a 14-month program or an 18-month program, that's usually will get a certification. She'll get a certificate and some sort of credit out of the paramedic school, but you won't get a degree out of it. And I'll explain what I did in a second, okay? Now, the associate degree, obviously, usually about, depending on, it could be different all around, but I'll give you an example. Let's say 60, 64, 68 college credits about for an associate degree. Double that, that's going to be more of like a bachelor's, okay? So there are some places that offer a bachelor's degree in EMS where you get your EMT and paramedic all in one. And then other places where you get an associate degree and that's a paramedic program. There's so many different combinations. To give you some clarity, I want to talk to you about exactly what I did to go from no medical experience to becoming a paramedic at 21. This is all the way back in 2012, 2013. I finished paramedic school in 2013. Shooting this video, we're in 2020. So that kind of shows you the journey here. So let me explain. So in 2011, I went to EMT school at a local hospital. It was 3 months long, okay? A few, month or two later, I had my national registry practicals and written done. Okay, great, I'm an EMT. I started volunteering. Then I got a job as an EMT while I was in paramedic school, okay? So very quickly, in the summer, August of 2012, I was in paramedic school. That program was a CERT program, but I had the option with that community college to go back after and get my associate degree. That's what I did to accomplish the associate degree for a paramedic. So what I did was I had 30 college credits from the community college. Then, while I was getting paid, while I was getting experience, while I was working as a paramedic, honing my craft, I was slowly online going back and knocking out those classes to get my associate degree. So that is a great, great way to maximize both working, getting your paramedic and getting it done, but also getting an associate degree so you have that. And right now in the United States, most programs are trending towards an associate degree, and that's where I believe the profession is going. So if you have an option to get an associate degree, I would recommend that you do that. You have it. You put it in your back pocket, you got it, it's over and done with, you're good now. Now you can focus on becoming better and better and better at your craft. So right now I'm going to talk about the difference at a treatment level, at a patient care level between EMT and a paramedic. So remember, an EMT practices basic life support. A paramedic is advanced life support. But what does that really mean? Basic life support, the way I like to think about it, is it's less invasive than advanced life support. So advanced life support requires more knowledge and more training than basic life support. Less invasive, more invasive. That's the way that I think about it. Look at the treatments this is not all the treatments, by the way. This is just some of the most common ones. They show you, kind of compare them for you. So in EMT here we have things like aspirin, an EpiPen, a bunch of different oxygen devices, okay? Could be CPAP. Could be an hour breather, could be a needle cannula, a BVM, and I have videos on my channel about all these things, guys. Bandaging, splints, EMS ops. So like understanding how the radio communications work with hospital, driving the ambulance, troubleshooting things on calls. That's, when people talk about get experience as an EMT, what I believe they're talking about is and I believe this too, is just getting your EMS ops experience, getting that first responder experience. Because when you're a paramedic, you're really hyper-focused on your patient and your patient care, because you're in charge of patient care if you're a paramedic role and you're on scene with that patient, right? Whereas the EMT is kind of your eyes and ears, looking out for you, looking out for everybody on the scene, and then also maybe interviewing other bystanders while you're focusing on leading the patient care, right? That's a great EMT paramedic team, right? Where the paramedic's watching the patient and the EMT's watching the back of the paramedic, you see? Now, the paramedic here is advanced life support, okay? So we're talking about IVs, we're talking about intramuscular injections. Whoa, that's a big word, what's that? It means giving like a shot, right? A shot could be here, could be here. Nationally, like inside of my prep course, link in the description on that, I go over all the EMS medications. I go over all 44 meds that you gotta know, nationally, for EMS meds. Advanced airway, like intubation. Intubation is when, basically, for lack of a better word, a breathing tube. So somebody can't breathe, you give them an airway, which could save their life. Advanced EKG and Cardiology. So I'm going to show you something over here. This right here is the actual heart monitor that paramedics carry. So we can do EKGs on here to see if you're having a heart attack or not. So the biggest thing that I can tell you between an EMT and a paramedic is cardiology and pharmacology. That is the biggest difference. Because an EMT can walk up and do a full assessment on a patient. A paramedic can walk up and do a full assessment on a patient. The only difference, the paramedic has more tools in their toolbox. They have more medications. They have that heart monitor like I showed you. They have the ability to do the EKGs. It's the cardiology and pharmacology that makes the medic. And that's the advanced life support. That's where the IVs come in, the shots. It's all about pharmacology and cardiology. And that leads to more career opportunities for the paramedic. So when I talk about things you can do offshore, things that you can do abroad, for example, we talk about could be military, could be tactical, right? Those are all options for you. We talk about working in labs, we talk about working in offices, 911, we talk about non-emergent, we talk about maybe working in more remote areas, could be out in the, in the wilderness, something like that. Any single job that you think of, bottom line, having your paramedic cert is going to give you an opportunity to unlock all that. It's going to unlock the ocean for you, if you will, having this. And it gives you the leg up on someone here who's applying for the same job because it's a higher level of care, right? And there are some areas where I do want to mention this, like the ER tech. A lot of you watching me, oh, I want to be an ER tech. Check your local area. Doesn't mean you can't move, but what I do know is some areas they may want you to be an advanced EMT or a paramedic because they want you to do blood draws or IVs, right? So it depends on your area. Some areas here, some here. And my recommendation to you, my friends, is you can't go wrong either way. You obviously got to start with EMT anyway. So like I said, if you're unsure about medicine or maybe you're on the fence of thinking about it, just simply sign up for an EMT class. I remember I was in my EMT class, 2 weeks in, I looked at my lead instructor who was a paramedic instructor, and I said, that's what I want to do. And here we are, the paramedic coach, right? So my friends, whatever your dream is, you can accomplish it as well. Hey everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this video comparing the EMT and the paramedic. And if you are one of these three people, if you are getting ready for EMT, advanced EMT, paramedic school, maybe you're in school right now and you're struggling with the core concepts, or maybe you're getting ready for national registry boards at EMT, advanced EMT, or even the paramedic level, click the link in the description. It says learn more. You'll see a little link, prepareforems.com. That is my prep course for all that. I give you access to over 180 plus videos. Plus you get access to me as your coach inside our private communities. You can ask me questions, hell, every day if you want to, in the private group about your education, about EMS, and you get access to my best content inside that vault. So click learn more down below, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Oh, like everything that you were saying was just connecting all these all these, links inside my brain. And I just knew right then and there, I have to have this program. I have to have all the information that he's willing to give. I need all of it.
I went through it. I spent the time and money in other areas, and I'm just going to let you guys know that this was everything I was searching for the whole time. The first couple of videos I watched, when I noticed it, I just immediately started connecting dots on some of these things I didn't have grasp.
Went on there, then I continued reviewing, and I did it for about a month, and it helped a lot. Like I said, even after school, and I took that test one time, and I passed it.
Your particular program, you have your students engaging, and you have your students discussing, and you have your students actually using your products. And I'm seeing time and time again students that are coming in and announcing their new certification with National Registry.
Results, obviously passing the exam, doing it pretty quickly, 70 questions in about an hour.
Well, you definitely are like how your videos are. Like, I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but you are how your videos are. So that was awesome.
So people who are getting ready for paramedic school, or if you're getting ready to go in the Navy as a corpsman or as an Army medic, you want to prepare yourself. Evan, I know you got a program that helps people prepare that way. So bottom line is, guys, you don't ever want to hear something for the first time with a bunch of other students. So if you're in a competitive learning environment, you don't want to hear about AFib for the first time where everybody else, you want to have an understanding of it before you walk in the room.
From 120 questions, passing 2 sections, near passing 1, and then I think 2 below passing, to 70 questions passing completely.
$7,000 for school plus everything else that you put into it all the time, and all the time off work and family and everything. It's to see people fail and fail and fail and then just quit, which I know a couple people who have. I tend to say, it doesn't hurt to have somebody right there to talk to, send a question.
Anytime I get the chance, I would gladly offer or advise them to sign up for you and your paramedic coach. It's truly helpful and amazing at what you do.
I want to help decrease failure rates for NREMT, for EMT school, for paramedic school. Watch these videos, watch this content, and believe me, you will start to understand EMS medicine. Anybody out there that wants to serve their community as an EMT or a paramedic should be able to do that, and I'm here as the paramedic coach to help you achieve that.